anti-male agenda, because overall the society has got lot of anti-male attitude. You see all the laws, all laws are against men. There is not a single law that favors men. And it is not a problem of the mindset with the men, it is a problem of the mindset with the society and women who just want to use men as free ATM machines. They say, husband's property is my property. Why? How?
What but India is a patriarchal society.
It's not a patriarchal society. If you in a patriarchal society, you would not have so many laws against men. You would not have so many men committing suicide. You will not have so many men running here and there, finding no way to go. We get so many distress calls on our helplines every day. We have around 40 helplines all over India, and we get around 5 to 6 calls per helpline per day. Can you imagine the amount of men who are suffering? And this is only with our limited reach. If we increase our reach, we just don't know how many men are going to come to us with their problems they are facing. Second thing is, what is the problem in making this law gender neutral? Why are we considering only husband's property? Why not property owned by wife? Consider a hypothetical situation. Husband and wife jointly have a property of 30 lakh rupees, and wife separately owns 60 lakh worth of properties. So after separation, we are saying that she will get 75 lakhs of worth of property, and husband will be left with 15 lakhs worth of property. Where is the equality here?
Do you feel then it should be different for an urban and a rural setup?
No, it should not be. It should not be at all. In rural areas, so many men are suffering, and men don't own properties in rural areas. The poor men, they don't own properties. How this law is anyways going to not affect that section of the society. We are saying that poor women are going to get benefited. Where? Poor woman is a poor husband. Where does he have property? Is he going to divide his auto rickshaw or what into two halves?
How would you like to retort to that, Mr. Nizar?
That's what I said. This is the mindset which has to be taken out. They are in some sort of darkness. They all feel as though something is taken away by them. It is not their property.
Of course it is being taken away.
All right, you talk about it.
It is my property. My property is being taken away. We are saying in the law, property owned by husband. Property owned by husband is being taken away. So my property is being taken away. Obviously, I will object to it. Why should I give away my property merely because my marriage didn't work? Marriage should not become a property transfer bureau. And and also to enlighten you on one more aspect from a historical angle, this law, Marriage Laws Amendment Bill, never ever started with property division. Let me tell you very clearly. Supreme Court passed a judgment saying that there are many cases, divorce cases pending in the various courts of India, lingering for years because either party has to prove cruelty on the opposite party in order to seek divorce, whether it is a husband or a wife. And it takes long years because the court proceedings take a lot of time. And there is no point in dragging these cases. Let us have a new ground for divorce, which is called the irretrievable breakdown of marriage. If there is 3 years or more separation between two couples, their marriage is not working, they are not willing to stay together as husband and wife, let them have a amicable separation clause in the law itself. And Supreme Court recommended that the government should bring this law. And the government brought this law of Marriage Laws Amendment Bill to introduce irretrievable breakdown of marriage. Suddenly, we find some women organizations coming up and saying that what about property? We want property, and this property dispute started. Property was never ever the sole agenda of this law.
But how would you retort to this? If there is a man, he has a son, he has 2 daughters or 2 sons, 2 daughters, the property major share will go to the sons, will not come to the wives, because the wives are getting married to other families. So don't you feel that there is, I mean, it's not just about this issue,
yes,
it seeps down from a bigger issue.
I'm coming to that.
No, there is option for her to know, she, as a
but that's very
equal share is there.
It's just come very recently.
No, it is there. It is there. And also there are so many other weapons women are using. The CRPC 125 for the maintenance. The Domestic Violence Act, she gets maintenance. Within 3 months they are supposed to give.
There is no mention in this law.
This IRBM, which is worse than everything, they take everything. So what is ultimately the men and his husbands and his family are left with? What about the sacrifices made by the family members of the husband side? They may be unmarried sister, they may be his mother and father, elderly people. There is no talk about that.
Okay,
when you impress young wives, they do all this.
Let's put it in perspective.
Yeah.
In your understanding of the law,
yeah.
Now the judges have taken a view
yeah.
that this should be the case. In your understanding of law,
yeah.
by CRISP's understanding of the law, how should it be?
It should be gender neutral, number one. Even the wife side property should also be equally distributed to the husband. Suppose the wife side property is worth 100 crores and the husband is a middle class man. She loves him and marries, for example, and he is worth only 50 lakhs apartment. Okay, and she takes 25 lakhs in that, and she keeps that 100 crores. That is not acceptable to us. It is not fair. It is not fair. And also,
can you put it in more simple terms?
Yeah.
If the wife has property of 100 crore,
yeah,
the husband has property of 50 lakh.
yeah.
If they separate, then she gets 25 lakh of the husband's property.
Yes.
His parents do not get anything from her side.
She should get the option because he also has gone through the divorce.
Is that fair in law? Let's ask.
But
Ms. Nessa.
isn't that why it's
No,
left
why
to the
are we not including wife
But
property?
isn't that why it's left to the discretion of the judge? The
That's-
judge will be hearing the case. That is
We have
according to
objection
new
there
bill.
also. We have objection there also. The mindset of the judiciary is extremely anti-male, and the judiciary is highly insensitive to men. That is why we don't want it to be left to the discretion of judiciary.
Let's get an opinion from Ms. Nesargi. Do you think, well, like Jahgirdar is saying, woman has 100 crore. If she separates from her husband, she receives a share of the husband's property. Her property is intact.
See, the question is the misunderstanding of the law. The example that he gave, he's got sisters, he has got others. My property will go, what about them? It is misunderstanding of the law. What the law is contemplated is, in the ancestral property or his property, whatever his share, out of his share only she gets it, not from the other property. Say for example, he has got mother, he has got sister, they are also entitled for law. Their rights are not taken away by this law. Whatever the share that the husband gets, in the event of a
Primarily,
partition,
we are targeting
that is the
husband.
only thing what she is getting. Even that they do not want to give. Even that. See, the mindset is that, say, girl marries, entire thing is given away and she goes there. See, his example stating if he has got 100 crores of property and he has got only 25 lakhs. What about the other way around? If he has got 100 crores of property and she has nothing,
She has
what should
20,
happen?
so then she will
what
get 50
says,
crore.
She
She will
must
get 50
get.
crore. She will
See,
get 50 crore,
let
as
us-
per you.
Wait a minute, sir. Please have patience. You must have patience before understanding it.
We
See,
have patience.
all
No,
right,
no,
all right,
just-
you
no,
talk
we are-
about
no,
it.
just-
I will
just-
sit quiet.
we are
You argue.
understanding it.
No,
You
just-
argue the matter,
just-
I will sit quiet.
Just 1 minute.
It's not the way.
Just 1 minute.
No,
she has
we
to.
should not
All
put
right,
up
sir,
wrong
let
thing
him
before
do
in
it.
the media.
Let
We
him
should not put
argue
up wrong
the
thing in
matter.
the media.
I will sit quiet.
We
Let
should not
him
mislead
say.
we should not mislead the people in the
Let's
on media.
get a women's
One at a
perspective.
time.
We have another women's activist, Miss Cynthia Stephen, who is joining us on the phone line. Miss Cynthia Stephen, can you share us what is your take on this? Do you think this is loaded against men?
See, actually, in the first place, I was listening to, yes, I can hear you all very well. I was listening to part of the conversation just took place. There was a gentleman, there are two things. I think in the first place, this law affects a lot of women, but it doesn't affect every woman. The point is, I can hear people here talking about 100 crores and 50 crores. We are here talking about people who don't have 50,000 rupees. So this has to be understood. Then the other time I heard a gentleman saying that the judiciary is totally anti-male. If the judiciary was totally so anti-male and so pro-female, I want to ask, why is it that it's known that there are rape cases happening all over the country, but there is a miserable rate of conviction. It is not true, therefore,
It is
that
it's a miserable.
the judiciary is anti-male. It is not true at all.
Now let me interrupt here. It's a miserable rate of reporting, not conviction. Conviction is quite high.
No.
As a matter of fact,
No,
that's not
I would like
true.
to add
What is
one
the
point
conviction
here.
rate?
I would like to add one point here. I would like to add one point here.
What she's telling
The
is
rate
that
of
it's not
we
okay.
cannot simply say the rate of conviction is high or low. We have to look at the case. If the case reported is false, if there are false allegations and rape has never happened, why should a man get
Okay.
convicted?
We are digressing, Miss Cynthia.
You cannot accuse the judge.
How can you assume that a rape happened?
Okay. No, we are digressing from the topic.
Miss,
Not at all. I think that we are not digressing. We are talking about a very basic issue.
She only digressed. She got the topic.
She is monitoring.
Okay.
Let us allow her to monitor.
Okay, Miss Cynthia
Let's
Stephen,
allow her
we are
to monitor.
digressing from the topic. We leave
Yes.
rape out for the minute. We will talk of.
No, I'm using it as an example to show
Okay.
that judges are not necessarily biased against men. That's my point.
I have an objection to that point.
Let us
I have an
believe.
objection to that point.
Yeah.
See, in this particular law, this case in
Yes.
point, do you think
Yes.
the men are being made a scapegoat, or the men's issues, the male gender stands to lose here?
Okay. I want to ask, in a context where I understand that this is a matter of men being very much exercised about the control over the property. Am I right? Isn't that the main
Yes,
issue?
that is the moot point.
Now, the point is, if you look at the ownership of property across the world, even in our country, property ownership by women is a very miserable less than 10%. And so the men are very much upset because they want to retain hold over what they own 90% of the property, and they want to continue to hold the 90% of the property regardless of the conditions of the other half of the society. So I want to first point that out.
Okay, Ms. Cynthia Stephen, continue to stay on with us. Well, Ms. Nesargi, if you listen to the men, we get this understanding that the law and the courts are loaded against men.
Certainly not. In fact, my
experience
shows, you see, the Domestic Violence Act came, and the Act said within 3 days the interim maintenance application has to be given, and within 60 days the matter has to be decided. That is what is contemplated under law. But my experience for the past every case orders are not given, matters are dragged on, objections are not filed, the maintenance is not given. Now they say until the evidence is given, maintenance is not going to be given. Even then appeal is filed, and after even the orders are passed, they don't pay the amount. We have to go every now and then, every lady with the child without any shelter, go to the court, kindly you pass the order, kindly execute the order and give it. It won't given. In experience shows from the domestic violence courts, though Act is there, while implementing, we are not getting the justice. Women are not getting the justice.
What percentage are you talking of?
I am telling you, not even 10% of the ladies are getting the justice there. Not even 10%. Take throughout the country. I am telling you, this is what is happening in the real sense. Whether it is in the traffic court in the Mayo Hall, or whether it is traffic court in the city court, or whether it is in the throughout the state, this is the experience. Cases are pending, maintenance is not paid. Orders, we get it. Pay that maintenance, they don't give it. I tell you another example. House, they are entered for a house. What the men do is, they take the house on rent, and once the alternative residence has to be given, they have an understanding with the landlord, they vacate the house, they agree to vacate the house, they execute, HRC court will pass an order against the husband, and the wife will be in the last, she won't know where to go. She is without shelter, she is without money, she is without any means, she has to take care of the children. This is the plight of our women. Our fighting in and out, every day it is not yielding the results. Here 1 or 2 exceptions, they will be able to get it, but by and large they are not getting, because men are dodging orders by the court. They dodge, they don't give the shelter, they don't give the money, they make them to struggle.
I think a lot of I need to speak now. I need to speak. 1 minute. There are a lot of things. See.
Let's not digress on this point. On this point that she's saying, on this point, are you convinced by what she's saying?
No,
of course not.
Of course not.
No question. Because
judiciary says,
it is how many wives are gone, or mothers for not showing the children to visitation rights or giving custody to the jail for non-performance. How many men have gone for not paying maintenance? 98% of the men who are sitting in the jail, for not taking action on the court order. Can you give me one example? I have seen a number of cases where the court orders are not respected by the wives, for showing the children. Where is the punishment for them? They say, Bindas, we are not bothered. No court, I am the mother. I am a diversion. Yeah, it is a part of family. We are talking about family. We are talking about the family act.
Let us not divert the subject.
No.
Please, property rights, which is there.
What is this issue she is speaking of?
Coming back to the Domestic Violence Act, orders are passed ex parte without the husband even attending the court. We have seen such cases. Second thing, judge says, beg, borrow or steal, pay maintenance. There is not a question of women not getting money. Women are getting 25,000, 40,000 orders of maintenance. We are dealing with such cases. Men are losing their job because the cases are filed. They have to attend court hearings 3 times in a week. They are losing their job. They don't have means to survive. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have any law to report. Where will the men go? Then even if they lose the job, the maintenance order still remains there, and the arrears keep pending, amounting, and then they are arrested and sent to jail. Even if they come out of jail, the arrears are not set aside. Second thing, evidence is not considered into passing maintenance orders. Why, I want to ask? Just because the complaint has been filed, are we supposed to take it as gospel truth? If we are supposed to take it as gospel truth, what do we have the courts for? What do we have the trial procedure for? Why are objections, cross-examination, arguments by lawyer kept in place? We don't have that. Second thing, DV Act, they say it's a civil law. Then why are terms like jail, bail, arrest inside such a civil law? Why is the DV Act following CRPC? The Act itself is badly drafted, clumsily drafted, and it should be scrapped in first place. And we are saying that it is not being implemented, it is being properly implemented. Men are being thrown out of their own houses, which are being occupied by their wives. And second thing is, why do we always want to target assets owned by men? Men don't